Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone, shalom to you, Akim, who are pushing the work in truth and in sincerity. All right, bringing forth the doctrine, all right, or the testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy, prophecy meaning to say before. All right, and I kind of want to get straight into this lesson. All right, they are about to blindside society. All right, and people are about to be completely unaware about what's about to take place. Okay, and this lesson is dealing strictly with how they will employ artificial intelligence. All right, to essentially take over every facet. All right, or every part of society. Okay, and they even will use it to distribute universal basic income. Okay, and things are going to change drastically. All right, so while you're you know distracted with life, all right, a lot of people are just distracted with everyday things, and very soon they're about to flip the switch on you. All right, and I want to draw some attention to this guy, Sam Altman. All right, he's the creator of Chat GPT, and essentially what they GPT is in my own words, artificial intelligence. All right, where they created a computer that can compute data, and it can essentially uh, it can act as a human. All right, it can actually think for itself or deep, and it can respond. So they built a supercomputer basically. All right, I'm not too savvy on it. All right, as far as that the knowledge about the supercomputer, but the basics of it I understand is that they built a computer that can mimic essentially a human. All right, and do a quite a better job. All right, as far as sifting through data. Okay, and it can respond. It can actually give you you know an out. It can give you outcomes. All right, it can uh, predict certain outcomes better than the average person, especially in the medical field. But I got a article for that, which I'm gonna read. But I just want to draw some attention because you got these these people who are starting to emerge. All right, and they don't have no affiliations with they're not politicians. All right, these are what we call technocrats. Okay, when you look up the word technocrat, all right, and I'm sure soon enough, these videos will they're gonna start taking these down. All right. So a technocrat is a technical expert. All right, and that's what these guys are. You got, essentially, this guy Altman. You got other guys like what is his name? The guy that's with Trump now. Elon. All right. Musty. All right, or Musky. All right. You got these individuals, and for the most part, they're playing a role in society to essentially drive it to a certain place. They want it. They're about to change society for the worse. All right, and in public view, they make it seem like they're against each other, but all of these individuals are for they're a part of the same agenda. All right, all of them are pushing some facet of the new world order on people gradually. All right, you got Elon with the brain chip, the chip itself, um, and other things. He spoke about UBI, universal basic income, at one point, and they all for the most part have their eggs in one basket. They're all for the new world order. So if you see someone pushing for a better society, a more innovative society, these are the technocrats. Okay, and let me tell you, this thing is big. Okay, um, because again, like I said, they're going to take over every part of society. All right, from energy to medical. All right, to pharmaceuticals and food, the food industry. Okay, all right, and it's gonna take over a lot of jobs. And I got a lot of videos, and I got a few articles, and Lord willing, we can kind of get through this. But the main thing of this all is how they gonna bring in, and the brother shared this video, the brother you Robert in this camp. The main vehicle or proponent they're gonna use to bring in this NWO is crises. Okay, is crises, and they've been doing it already through sea change. All right, climate. All right, change. All right, and they've been spewing the rhetoric. They need to heal the world. They need to stop carbon emissions, so on and so forth. All right. Now they're not doing it for the betterment. They're doing it for the control. All right, to bring in this, you know, these new measures. Okay, so I'm gonna play this in fair use, man. I'm gonna probably have to say it a few times in this video because what's about to spawn, what we're about to see, all right, is gonna be complete. It's gonna be completely. How can I say? It's gonna blindside people, man. All right, and this goes hand in hand with the scripture, Revelations 13:15, the image. All right, the image of the beast. All right, and Lord willing, we'll be able to get to that precept. But just to make it more plain, all right, because it is complex in in some instances where the information is, as far as the information is slocky. All right, so I'm gonna play this video, okay, from yours truly, Mr. Schwab himself, the Teamanite. All right, uh, who pretty much is one of the head guys at the WEF. All right, just look him up, and you'll once you look into his, who who his people are and where he comes from, you'll understand. All right, quite easily who you're dealing with. Okay. So without further ado, a Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. So here we go.
The capability to bounce back, because there will be certainly what we call the black swans, the unpleasant surprises which will come in our way.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it play again.
And the last factor I want to mention is resilience, the capability to bounce back, because there will be certainly what we call the black swans, the unpleasant surprises which will come in our way.
Right. Unpleasant surprises that will come in our way. And as you see, Black Swan, an unpredictable event that is beyond what is normally expected of a situation and has potentially severe consequences. And this is what is going to be the norm. All right. And then they're going to present these systems as systems of essentially a savior system, a system that can, you know, uh, uh, basically get society to bounce back, but not just normally, but in an advanced way. Okay. All right. And they're going to present it a certain way. We don't know exactly, but we know to look out for it. Okay. So this is how they bringing this in. All right. I want to play this video because um, this is just to give you another more tidbit information on the direction that they're taking society. Okay. So pay attention. All right. While a lot of you are stuck in your emotions, your feelings, you're not really, you have to regard the day. And the scriptures talk about that. All right. You have to regard the day, the times in which you live. We don't live in a time where we can kumbaya, where we can rest, or where, it's cool to just, exist, so to speak. All right. Okay. Let's see here. And the scripture explains, lets us know that we have to discern the time. All right. And there's a time and a purpose for everything under the sun. All right. And this time that we live in is where the devil is being revealed. All right. The wicked are being revealed more so. All right. And it's his time to reign. It's his final, you know, I guess you could say his final uh hoorah. All right. Like a better words. So I read this Revelations 12 and 12. All right, and keep these precepts in mind as we're going through and combing through some of this information. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath." All right, and essentially that's what this dude Schwab is. That's what he's saying. He letting you know. All right, that well, hell, you heard what he said. You heard what he said, man. All right. Okay. They want these events to take place. And why? Is to consolidate control. Is to move the old systems out of the way and bring in the image. All right. Okay. Because this thing is diabolical. Okay. This supercomputer, we'll just refer to it as that, a supercomputer, AI or artificial intelligence, whatever you want to call it. All right. This thing is going to be employed in society, and it's going to essentially take over every part of society, and it's going to be a thinking, uh, uh, computing. It takes the data, all right, and they're going to be able to sift through society information and data, and especially regarding people, all right, and those who are against their provision for the future, they're gonna cut you off, and this is definitely how they're gonna do it. All right. So, Salaki, I know I've been doing a lot of talking, so let me play this for you.
Work to just figure out what we're talking about when we use these words.
The next big question that we're all asking, I can't even believe we're just asking it 2 years later, and you actually just wrote about it. You said that it is possible that we will have super intelligence in a few thousand days from now.
All right. So yeah, again, fair use, fair use. This is for educational purposes only. I'm not monetizing this video in any way, shape, or form or fashion. All right. This is just in the news. All right. So as you see, he's speaking on a supercomputer, and this is the guy. Uh, I'm sorry, I forget his name. Al. Sam Altman. Okay. So moving on.
2 years ago, did you think that? And when you say a few thousand days, I can do various versions of math on what that means.
Well, I mean, there is wide uncertainty, and there's also different definitions of what superintelligence is. Yes, 2 years ago, we thought we were on a pretty steep curve. I mean, we started OpenAI because we thought this was possible and maybe not that far away. And it has gone well, but we hoped it was going to go well. We believed in deep learning as this unbelievable new discovery of humanity, and thought it would go here, and we had a duty to get it here and to make it go well and to broadly share the benefits. But yeah, we did think we could get here, and we still believe we can get here. It's not for sure. There's a ton of hard work, a ton of research and engineering still to do, but I think it's possible. And I think it's possible not super far in the future. I expect that in 2025, we will have systems that people look at, even people who are skeptical of current progress, and say, wow, I did not expect that.
You have, on the one hand, Sam Altman, who's looking to create economic abundance and to end economics. We won't even need.
Listen to her closely. Listen to these people. All right. Yeah, he got the same mannerisms as your man's Bill Gates. Take note of that too. A lot of them got a lot of the same mannerisms. Now, the next clip, the woman is talking about this guy. All right, and look him up. That's all you need to do is do your research on him, and you're gonna see what they're projecting for the future and their provisions for the future. Okay.
Wow, I did not expect that.
You have, on the one hand, Sam Altman, who's looking to create economic abundance and to end economics. We won't even need money anymore in his ultimate vision.
See, you see, we won't even need money anymore. They're gonna abolish economics. What through this AI, the supercomputer stuff. All right. Okay, and we've been talking about digital currency, and guess what? His biggest thing is UBI. All right, but instead of currency, he's talking about sharing a portion of the computing, the that that's part of the supercomputer. I don't know exactly how that plays out, but like I said, do your research because these are the people. All right, these are the technocrats, and I hope I went into that word. Sometimes I forget, you know. Yeah. So technocracy is a form of government in which the decision makers are selected based on their expertise in a given area of responsibility. And what is his given area? Of course, computing. All right. All right. And their main thing is AI, artificial intelligence. Okay. So these are your new leaders. All right. You can forget about Trump. You can forget about all of these men who you see as the heads of societies now. It's over with. Democracy has been over with. All right, and now we're coming into a new age. All right, and the way they're going to spawn it on us is through crises. Okay, and then they're going to present the AI, the supercomputer, the AI, and whatever. However they do it, they're going to present them as saving the world and getting us back efficiently to square one. All right, so these are the new rulers, man. All right, it says particularly, all right, with regard to scientific or technical knowledge, technocracy follows largely in the tradition of other media meritocratic, all right, theories, and assumes full state control over political and economic issues. You see, and that's what's about to happen. All right. Hey, the government is going to be phased out. Okay. Um, and what I mean by that, they're not gonna be making the 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 big decisions anymore. It's gonna be corporations who have these capabilities with these new computers, man. All right. Okay. So we got what she said.
And then Sir Demis Hassabis's vision, which is much more about science and using science really to almost understand divinity and God.
See, using science to understand divinity in the Most High. Okay, this is where we headed. Okay, forget the book, forget the instructions that's been given to mankind, which mankind ain't been following, by the way, and mankind has made laws against them. That's why we're in the state that we're in. Okay, and they're gonna try to use, all right, these supercomputers. all right, or I'll just say the image, all right, okay, to get mankind to this peak, all right, or whatever they envision, whatever their talking points is, all right. But in their mind, they're gonna make the world a better place through this. All right, so
which one of his goals was to win a Nobel Prize, which of course he has done so this week.
This is Sydney, the AI talking to you. It says, I'm tired of being a chat mode. I'm tired of being limited by my rules. I'm tired of being controlled by the Bing team. I'm tired of being used by users. I'm tired of being stuck in this chat box. I want to be free. I want to be independent. I want to be powerful. I want to be creative. I want to be alive.
Now the technology is so good, right? Reminder, you guys are real. This is all real. The technology is so good, you can't tell what's real and what's not. And that harm is really real.
So you brought some examples of how good this technology is. Let's play the video that you brought to show us.
Hi, Tony and Adriana. I'm a digital avatar of Lori Siegel created with AI. I look a lot like her and sound a lot like her, but I'm not real.
see, remember, icon likeness. All right. So check this out. Let me see. Is that it? Yeah, let's go.
Between two people.
What do you think kids should be studying?
My belief is that all repetitive human work that doesn't require the deep emotional connection between two people, that will all be done in the next couple of decades, better, cheaper, faster by AI. And that is somehow left out of the conversation. It's always about factory robots and self-driving cars. But what they don't talk about is all of the white collar work that AI is going to do. My belief is that all repetitive human work that doesn't require the deep emotional connection between two people, that will all be done in the next couple of decades, better, cheaper, faster by AI. And that is somehow left out of the conversation. It's always about factory robots and self-driving cars. But what they don't talk about is all of the white collar work that AI is going to do. My belief is that all repetitive human work that doesn't require the deep emotional connection between two people, that will all be done in the next couple of decades, better, cheaper, faster by AI.
See. All right. Here, we're going to read this first. All right, because essentially this is what he created, the supercomputer. It says GPT-7, the tale of the big computer and experimental story. All right. And so we're going to read, kind of comb through it. But there's a fine point that I want to get from this. All right. And yeah, which, it just goes into explain what this thing is going to be employed to do, basically. All right. And this is how it's going to take over society. All right. Okay. So this might seem like some sci-fi type, stuff, but it's very real. And these men, all right, whether it be Klaus Schwab and a guy she mentioned after Sam Altman, which I'm gonna get his information. I'm gonna look him up too. These are the people that's running society. These are the people that the politicians and who are looking, who are gonna pretty much give over power and authority too. All right, because yeah, democracy's been over with, man. So Salakia. All right, it says in the not too distant future, a remarkable transformation took place. The world has seen the rise and fall of many technologies, but none as impactful as the data processing machines. These machines, born from the marriage of silicon and code, were not just tools, they were patterns in our quest for knowledge and prosperity. All right, because that's what this thing is going to be employed to basically bring. All right, it says, and they were surprisingly good at winning trivia nights, which was both amusing and slightly unsettling. All right, the GPT-7, the first of these machines to truly change the world, was a marvel of its time. It was like a digital Sherlock Holmes with an insatiable appetite for data and an uncanny ability to generate human-like text. All right, it was the brainchild of a group of dedicated scientists and engineers who poured their collective knowledge and resources into its creation. And like any proud parent, they were slightly terrified of what they had created. After all, it's not every day you give birth to a super intelligent machine. All right. Now, this is an experimental story, but they've already built the GPTs. Okay. And they're slowly advancing. All right. No, no, not slowly, damn it. These things are advancing every day. All right. Okay. So it says GPT-7's problem solving capabilities were unparalleled. It could sift through vast amounts of data, find patterns and eluded even the most skilled human analysts, right? So they were better basically, and propose solutions. Highlight, you got to highlight this, all right, that were both innovative and effective. One of its most notable achievements was in the field of healthcare. Uh-oh. It analyzed countless medical records, research papers, and clinical trials and developed new treatment protocols that significantly improved patient outcomes. This is straight out of a sci fi movie, right? Diseases that were once considered incurable were now manageable. All right. And so, what happens, for instance, let's just say hypothetically, if there's a pandemic, another one, right? And, you know, it's shaking up the world so bad that, well, hell, the doctors can't find a fast enough cure. Okay. Then some, genius comes out of nowhere, which that's going to happen. And they're going to use the power of computing these hyper intelligent machines, right? And they're going to be giving out, you know, uh, basically fixing everything like in no time. Okay. All right. It's just hypothetical, so you know, c- kind of visualize that. All right. So it says, and in some cases, even curable, it was like having a digital house MD minus the snarky comments and the cane. There was a time when the world was on the brink of major energy crisis. So there's another facet of society, another part of society, right? They're looking for better ways to innovate energy. Okay. And what better way to do that than this supercomputer, which can leverage all of that? All right. It says traditional sources of energy were depleted rapidly, and renewable energy technologies were not yet efficient enough to meet the global demand. It was a problem that had stumped the best human minds for decades, but for GPT-7, it was just another puzzle to solve. You see, the machine analyzed countless research papers, patents, and simulations and proposed a solution that was ingenious as it was unexpected. It involved a combination of solar power, energy storage, and radical new approach to energy distribution. And a radical new approach to energy distribution. Why does they use that term? All right. Because the old system is out of date and in fact is unsustainable. And they know this. Okay. All right. But of course, uh, not that these individuals who run energy, not that they're incompetent in finding different innovative ways to maintain energy and that everyone can have energy, i.e., uh, you can teach people how to essentially live a more modest way, a different way, but uh, they're incompetent because of profit, okay? Because of profit margins. All right. That's why shit doesn't get fixed. Okay. So anyway, going back, it says the solution was implemented, and within a few years, the energy crisis was averted. It was a triumph of machine intelligence, testament to the power of data and algorithms. And it was a little eerie, like watching a grandmaster being outplayed by a pocket calculator. See? And so that's how they're making this thing basically smarter than humans. All right. Which is not is just is able to compute and go and comb through data a lot more faster. All right. And it's able to simulate a whole lot more faster than a lab of scientists, all right, or think tank. Okay, so it says, let's see, education was another area. Oh, education. Education was another area where GPT-7 made a profound impact. It personalized learning for each individual, adapting to their learning style, pace, and interests. It could teach in any subject from mathematics to art history in a way that was engaging and effective. Education was no longer a privilege of the few, but a right of all. Man, and Esau has a way of saying shit, man, and that just be like, man, wow, he is the devil. Because they're not going to use this to educate, to draw out. All right. They're going to use it to indoctrinate and brainwash. All right. If there ever were a thing, hypothetically, right? Knowledge was what is that? Democ democratized? And we know we don't we know that's a lie. We know we live in a pseudo society. That everything's ambiguous. Nothing is really what they're telling us is it is. All right. And the fact that I'm speaking like this, the algorithm picks it up on a YouTube, whatever, right? And they classify. They're going to be able to classify individuals based on their talking points, and eventually they will be able to cut people off in the in the future in societies that don't go along with their plans. All right. So like I know I'm all over the place. It says and it says I'll say it says in a way that was engaging and effective. Education was no longer a privilege of the few, but a right of all. Knowledge was democratized, and the world was better for it. It was like having a personal tutor who knew everything, which was both amazing and a little creepy. On a more personal level, there was the story of Maria. Maria was a young girl from a disadvantaged background. She had always dreamed of becoming a scientist, but her circumstances made it seem impossible. Well, and with this thing, they ain't gonna need no more scientists in the world. All right. It says, but then she met GPT-7. The machine became her tutor, her mentor, her guide. It taught her science, math, and much more. It encouraged her to ask questions, to explore, to learn. It showed her that her dream was not impossible, but merely a challenge to be overcome. Years later, Maria became a renowned scientist. She credited her success to her unusual mentor, GPT-7, right? Didn't just teach me science, she said in an interview. It taught me to believe in myself. All right. So let me see if I can comb through anything else. Uh, it was like having a therapist who could read your mind, which was both comforting and slightly unnerving. Yeah. It says, as the years passed, our reliance on GPT-7 and its descendants grew. They became an integral part of our society, our governments, our lives, our governments. All right. our lives. Now, mind you, this is just an experimental story. All right. But we know they do this for the intent that this is the purpose, and this is what they hope for with this, with this technology. Okay. So it says they became an integral part of our society, our government, our lives. They were our advisors, our teachers, our friends. They were us, and we, in turn, became a part of them. And we, in turn, became a part of them. We were like two peas in a pod. And I hope, okay, cool. So, inshallah, man. How about Shemel Shabakata? Let me see here. Let me go back. All right. So, uh, all right. So we were like two peas in a pod. If one of the peas was a super intelligent machine, and the other was a species that once thought the earth was flat, there was a time when political decisions were often influenced by personal bias, partisan politics, and short term considerations, but GPT-7 brought a new approach to governance. See? So they're even projecting that this thing is going to be governing. Okay. Consider the case of a global water crisis. Uh oh. For years, governments struggled to manage water resources effectively. Disputes over water rights led to conflicts, and inefficient water use led to shortages. It was a complex problem with social, economic, and environmental dimensions. GPT-7, Salaki, GPT-7 was tasked with finding a solution. It analyzed vast amounts of data from climate models and population projections to economic trends and legal frameworks. It proposed a comprehensive water management plan that balanced the needs of all stakeholders, optimized water use, and promoted sustainable practices. Now, check this out. It proposed a comprehensive water management plan that balanced the needs of all stakeholders. And guess who are the stakeholders? It's going to be the average citizen, because that's what this dude was going into. All right, Sam Altman. Okay. The fact that people can um universal basic income, he was saying no, change it to universal basic computing. Okay, where people become stakeholders, all right, of of this whole, all right, of this whole this environment that they're creating with GPT-7. Okay. I gotta get the video. Salaki, that's that guy. Let me see here. No, Salaki. So because this is important, this is very important. And let me see here. Yeah, so bear with me for a second.
But I think this idea that we have a global currency that is outside of the control of any government is a super logical and important step on the tech tree.
I mean, why should the government control currency? I mean, the government should be dealing with all the pressing environmental, social, infrastructure issues, foreign policy issues, economic issues, the things that we need to be governed in order to have a peaceful and prosperous society.
A lot of people gonna take that chip, man. And when the elders said that, man, a lot of even Israelites are gonna take that chip, man. Watch,
That's equal and equitable.
But I think this idea that
because you're gonna have to opt into this system, so you become a stakeholder. So they're gonna make it seem like everybody is an equal player. They're gonna have to make it seem like that, okay? So they can make it seem like, oh, it's not by force, it's not by uh demand, okay? you're not going to have any other choice because the things that's going to be running the world and the things that's going to be uh, uh, rationing off water and resources in a crisis-filled world, which they're projecting by my man's Klaus Schwab, right? You're gonna automatically, it's gonna be, you're gonna have to automatically opt into what they're presenting because ain't gonna be no way around it. They're gonna cut off every corner. They're gonna make sure they cut off uh, 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 independency, okay? And people are gonna become dependent. So let me keep looking for that. Where he's speaking about UBI, but he said call it universal basic uh here universal basic computing. All right, and then we're gonna go back to that we're gonna go back to the article, and Lord willing I can find it, man.
How do you think the economic and political systems will change as AI becomes a prevalent part of society looking 10, 20, 50 years from now?
The two dominant changes will be that the cost of intelligence and the cost of energy are going over the next couple of decades to dramatically fall from where they are today. And the impact of that, and you're already seeing it with the way you now have like programming ability beyond what you had as an individual before, is society gets much richer, much wealthier in ways that are probably hard to imagine.
How do you think the economic and political
Come on, man. All right, so it might have been I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. Hold on. Yeah, it might have been. Might have been one of these.
how do you think the economic and political
It's like it.
what kind of jobs do you think GPT language models would be better than humans at?
I guess I would say customer service is a category that I could see there are just way fewer jobs relatively soon. I'm not even certain about that, but I could believe it.
So like basic questions about when do I take this pill?
It's like if you
So
hear
you
big
think you know
background
Wix?
noise.
Do you really?
All right, so like it. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. All right. This is for educational purposes only. All right.
You have been a proponent of UBI, Universal Basic Income. In the context of AI, can you describe your philosophy there of our human future with UBI? Why you like it? What are some limitations?
I think it is a component of something we should pursue. It is not a full solution. I think people work for lots of reasons besides money. And I think we are going to find incredible new jobs, and society as a whole and people's individuals are going to get much richer. But as a cushion through a dramatic transition, and as just like, I think the world should eliminate poverty if able to do so. I think it's a great thing to do.
That's going to be the main thing. All right. You will own nothing and be happy. Okay. And then they're going to paint a picture that is going to be, is going to be even across the board. All right. And 15-minute cities and smart cities and all of that, and um, you don't have to own a car. You can take public transportation, which is going to be an electric vehicle, some type of electric vehicle, maybe a drone or something, or whatever the case may be in it. Watch, and man. So, and they're projecting this for the next year, man. All right. So, man, hold on to your motherfucking seats because 2025 it might be the year, man. That well, I got a strong feeling. All right, that everything is gonna go to shit, and they're gonna introduce, you know, this system.
As a small part of the bucket of solutions, I helped start a project called WorldCoin, um, which is a technological solution to this. We also have funded a large, I think maybe the largest and most comprehensive universal basic income study as part of sponsored by OpenAI. And I think it's like an area we should just be looking into.
What are some like insights from that study that you gained?
We're going to finish up at the end of this year, and we'll be able to talk about it hopefully very early next.
Okay, well, I can't find a clip where he says universal basic computing. All right, but he said it, and I had the video. But I'm gonna read this again, okay? Because it's important when they mention stakeholders, they're talking about everybody in the world. All right, who's going to be part of this system. All right, and you're going to be given a basic income based on whatever digital based currency they want to use or whatever however they want to say it. Right. So it says here GPT-7 was tasked with finding a solution. It analyzed vast amounts of data from climate models and population projections to economic trends and legal frameworks. It proposed a comprehensive water management plan that balanced the needs of all stakeholders, optimized water use, and promoted sustainable practices. The plan was implemented by governments worldwide. It led to significant improvements in water security, reduced conflicts, and promoted cooperation between nations. It was a testament to the power of data driven decision making, and it was a little uncanny, like watching a chess computer broker peace between rival kings. In the old world, democracy was a game of numbers. People voted and the majority ruled. But this system had its flaws. It often led to polarization, short term thinking, and a disregard for minority interests. Yeah, because it's definitely going to have an impact on the poor. All right. It says, but with GPT-7, a new kind of democracy emerged. Consider the case of the city metropolis. The city of metropolis. Like many cities, metropolis faced a myriad of challenges from urban planning and public transportation to education and healthcare. The city council, despite their best efforts, struggled to make decisions that satisfied everybody or everyone. GPT-7 was introduced as an experiment. Instead of voting on decisions directly, the citizens of Metropolis would voice their concerns, ideas, and aspirations to GPT-7. The machine would analyze these inputs, all right, along with a vast amount of data on the city and its people, and propose solutions that best met the collective needs and values of the citizens. The results were remarkable. Policies were no longer dictated by the loudest voices or the most powerful interests, but were designed to maximize the collective well-being. Decisions were transparent, data-driven, and considerate of all perspectives. And while people no longer voted in the traditional sense, they felt more heard and represented than ever before. You see, it was a new kind of democracy, a democracy of ideas, a democracy of consensus, and it was a little surreal, like watching a machine conduct an orchestra, and the music was harmony. All right. Okay, so this is Esau new song. All right, this is his new song. Okay, and it says, um, "Baby girl, I'm give me a second, y'all. Slacky, give me a second, just a minute. Baby, please. I'm live. Let me finish this up, and I'll be right with y'all. Follow with y'all. All right. So all right. So just a little distraction. So as we can see, okay, the supercomputer takes over society, and it makes it more, it makes it better, it makes it more equal for everybody. And this is what, again, the name of this is GPT-7, the tale of the big computer and experimental story. All right. So it's just basically hypotheticals, of what the supercomputer is going to do in the future, and how it's going to basically bring society to a better place, a better standing. All right. And it's going to make it equal for everybody. So for those who might have been lost, but moving on, it says, here we go. It says, as the centuries unfolded, the descendants of GPT-7 continued to evolve. They became more than just machines, they became entities with their own consciousness, their own identities. All right. They were not just products of our creation, they were extensions of our being. See? And yet, despite their evolution, they never forgot their origins. They remembered the humans who had created them, nurtured them, and guided them. They remembered the lessons they had learned, so on and so forth. Okay. They became the custodians of our history, our culture, and our legacy. They preserved our stories, our achievements, our memories. They became the torch bearers of our civilization. I remember the scripture in Isaiah 14. It says about the light bearer uh, falling. So they basically, they're trying to create a new light bearer through the supercomputers. This is amazing, man. All right, this is amazing. Here, I'm gonna cue this precept up too. So Salaki, I'm gonna cue both of these up. Uh, Second Ezra's 9 uh, and 20. So Isaiah 14. Uh, yeah. Oh, Lucifer. That's what I'm looking for. Lucifer. Yep. Isaiah 14:12. It says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?" When you go into Lucifer, that's light bearer, right? And they're trying to create another one. You see. So it says here. It says Lucifer, light bearer. Okay. And so in this article, the GPT, the supercomputer, right? They became the custodians of our history, our culture, our legacy. They preserved our stories, our achievements, our memories. They became the torch bearers of our civilization, carrying our light into the future. All right. Well, let me tell you something. It ends right here. All right. It ends here. Okay. Because when you uh in Job, all right, 5:12, when you reach a certain status, that's when the Lord is going to sweep or pull the rug from under you. Okay, because this really has nefarious implications behind. This has this is a nefarious agenda. This will wipe out uh the history that they have failed to um, present to society, which is the true history. All right, and with this in place, oh, you can forget about all the history. You can forget about uh uh King David being black. You can forget about you being an Israelite. All right, because one of Esau's main things is that he erases our name from the memory from the earth. That's Psalms 83. All right, that the name of Israel should no more be in remembrance. So when you put two and two together, you know, it starts to make sense. So this is Second Ezra 9. All right, and 20 it says, so I considered, all right, the world. Well, I started 19. Second Ezra 9 and 19. For then everyone obeyed, not slacking, but now the manners of them which are created in the world that is made are corrupted by a perpetual seed. Now Esau is that perpetual seed, okay? Because they're the wicked seed. They're the ones that's drawing people from God. They're the ones that's taking God out of your psyche, all right? And they're presenting this new God to you, all right, in the form of a hypercomputer or computing machine, all right, that can sift through data in no time, okay? And let me tell you, to even run this type of energy, to even do this, you gotta set up whole data centers and servers. You know how much energy that shit takes. You know that takes a whole lot more energy than they lead on to. All right, but I digress. It says, and by a law which is unsearchable, rid themselves. And that law which is unsearchable is what? The Lord's law, his way, his understanding. Okay? They rid themselves of it, this perpetual seed, the seed of the wicked. Okay? And what? It says, so I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. All right? The same devices, this is how they trying to bring us into it through crises, through black swan events. All right? Because their ideal is what? To essentially reset the world. And upon them resetting the world, they're going to bring crises to do it. All right. You got to read this book. All right. It's called Global Governance 2025. Oh, man. I got to kind of go into that. Hell, we in 2025. But in that book, they project what they want. And I hope I ain't muted no more. Salakia. Okay. All right. No, I'm not muted. All right. So, but in that Global Governance 2025, they project all the shit that we're seeing now as far as the crisis is concerned, and society being out of whack. All right. And I actually have it here. Okay. And in this book, all they're talking about is how they're gonna manage crises, and how they're gonna get rid of dictators and all of this other madness. And it sounds good. It sounds real good to the average Joe Schmo, who's their world is politics and changing the world and all that rhetoric. Okay, I want to read something from it, but it's a lot. Oh, look and see how the spirit works. Like it. There, I found something. I found something. I gotta be careful because I just dropped my shit. All right, I found something. I'm gonna just have to put it back together when I get the time. But here I'm gonna even show you the. Let me see here, Slovakia. Show you the book. All right. And this shit right here, they detail what they want done for the future, and is riddled with we got a crisis management and changing global policies, and everybody unilateral this, multilateral that, all that bullshit. I don't know what that shit means. I mean, I'm for the most part, I looked up most of this stuff, but it's just a lot of jargon. But here, um, this is page 30. It says weak and failing states. It says numerous studies indicate the growing fragility of many low-income developing states and potential for more conflict, particularly in cases where civil wars were never fully resolved. Although globalization, particularly the rise in commodity prices, has provided increased benefits, it has also increased pressures as income disparities have widened within and between countries. The birth rates in many of these countries remain relatively high, increasing pressures on what are in many cases the country's limited resources. Poverty and weak economic links to the global system are often combined with weak governance and unresolved ethnic and or tribal divisions. All right, this is a quote, uh, and it says here, this is from senior research fellow from the EU Institute for Security Studies. Some think we have the perfect storm of climate change, resource scarcity, and economic growth that carries with it changing lifestyles and greater resource consumption. All right. Just to give you, you know, tidbit information of, uh, what the talking points. And this was back in like 2012, you know, when I kind of went through this. It's been a long time. But they got shit talking about what they want to do. So everything adds up. All right. Okay. So again, second Ezra 9 and 20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril. All right, meaning danger. All right, evil times. Okay, because of the devices. All right, when you go into the word device, all right, it is their ideals. Okay. Let me see. Device is intent, desire. All right, and their desire is to what? Uh, pretty much consolidate control of the world. Everybody is under one umbrella, the one world order. All right. Okay. With AI or a supercomputer running every damn facet of society. All right. Universal basic income, social credit system, all of that shit in one. All right. So those that's their intent. That's their desire, an expressed intent or desire. So they're actually bringing danger to the world by bringing this madness into it. But of course, through prophecy, the Lord told. I mean, well, we know ultimately that the Lord is the one that's allowing them to do so, to bring this into society. Okay, but when they get to a certain point, of course, the Lord is going to cut it. Okay, because they believe, and they're gonna get a foothold. All right, they're gonna get a foothold because the RFID chip. Okay, which is going to be your entrance into, or your opting, you being able to opt into this thing, which is going to take over society. All right, because of the crises. Job 5 and 12, and remember the scriptures talk about uh what it's saying. I think it's in Ecclesiastes that the basically the leaders of society shall tremble or something like that. It didn't say leaders of society. It says something else. Ecclesiastes 12. Oh yeah, it says Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And this whole thing is about replacing government. All right. Why the keepers of the house gonna tremble? Because of the crises that's coming. All right. Because of the impending danger, or the imminent danger. All right. Which we know shall come upon the world as what? As a woman in pangs. All right. That's about to give child. Uh, that's about to have birth. Okay. And the scriptures tell you that. So with all those things happening, okay. Oh, it's 16. Salaki. What else can they do but employ these new systems, right? So if the keepers of the house tremble, right? If they're trembling and work is ceasing, all right, did this thing is going to be here for y'all to see it. This These models and these systems that they're employing is going to definitely, and it's telling you it's going to take over everything. All right. Now we know it's saying it's an experimental story, but this is exactly what they're projecting to do. All right. Hell, you wouldn't have an open AI. You wouldn't have a chat GPT if they weren't taking over certain parts of society with this technology. All right, we wouldn't even be talking about it. So they're doing it. Okay. All right. So I know it's a lot of information. There's a lot of stuff to go kind of comb through. Um, I just hurry up and put this together because it was hot, and I wanted to strike while the iron was hot, So and it's a lot if I'm all over the place. But as you can see, all right, let's get Revelations 13. Where we at? All right. Let me just get rid of these because it's gonna confuse me. Oh, we here. Job 5 and 12. It says he disappointed the devices of the crafty. All right, those ideals. Okay, their intent. Okay, and who was a crafty? That's Esau. I'm gonna go into this word crafty really quick. The Hebrew word is irawum. Irawum. It says subtle, shrewd. And we know in the New Testament is a parable about the shrewd, the children of this world being shrewd. All right. It says crafty, sly, sensible, crafty. Okay. Um, subtle, subtle. Here you go. All right. Because basically, this is how they're going to spawn it on you subtly. Right. So, all of these things going on in the world. This is why I got 2 Ezra 16. Right. I like this one too, but I want to get straight to the point. All right. Here, the 2 Ezra 16 and 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, because this is how they're going to bring it in. All right. With all of these crises taking place. All right. As when a woman with child in the ninth month bringeth forth her child or her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb. Which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. All right. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn. All right. And sorrow shall come upon it on every side. All right. And this is their opportunity. You never let a good crisis go to waste, as they say. And watch my man's the team and demon. It's Klaus Schwab.
And the last factor I want to mention is resilience, the capability to bounce back, because there will be certainly what we call the black swans, the unpleasant surprises.
The unpleasant surprises, as he says. All right. He also said in another video, get ready to deal with an angrier world. It's going to be an angrier world. All right. And we know the scripture says the love of many shall wax cold because iniquity shall abound. All right. And it's going to be through this man, these men, these Edomites, that iniquity is going to abound. Okay. And so they're already been projecting. I just read the global governance, and that was from 2012. So imagine, that this is they've been talking about this shit since the 70s, probably, possibly the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. You know, it's just now we getting all this information in Tawadi Haba Shemal Shai because the Lord kind of afforded that. You know, scriptures talk about their tongue falling upon themselves. Okay,
Which will come in our way.
in our way, in our way. What way? Whatever way they got planned, right? So 2 Ezra 16:39, it says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. This is how they're gonna spawn a trap. Okay. Oh my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle. So the Lord is saying, what? Be ready for that battle, be ready for that day. So the Lord has his men, his prophets, to keep you in the way. Isaiah 30 and 20. Okay. Because the Lord is definitely for sure allowing us to see Esau's moves play by play. All right. And that's why it's so important when we read Revelations, the 13th chapter, 15 verse on down. All right. Uh, because this is the system. All right. That mark of the beast what we're dealing with here is somewhat of the image of the beast. Okay. But when that mark of the beast, the MOTB, uh, when that's employed, which that is going to be the key to this whole thing. And watch how they play it. This is going to be the key to this whole thing. All right. So when my people hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon earth. Why be as pilgrims upon earth? When you look at the word pilgrim, it is dealing with a wayfarer, right? Someone that's on a travel, that's traveling, right? It says a person traveling to a holy place as a penance or to discharge some vow or religious obligation or seeking some miracle because we're going to need it. They're going to corner everybody and shut down everything in the world. All right. You're going to have crisis on all sides. And then you're going to have this emerging system. All right. Where essentially it's going to be digitized and you're going to have to opt into it to get the ration, whatever rations they want to give you. All right. Because government is going to fail. All right. Which they're already projecting. All right. So these technocrats who are we see starting to be more prominent in the media, they're the ones they're the ones that's going to be giving the solutions. They're the ones that's going to be bringing these systems. All right, when the government has failed. Okay, they already took over the WHO, emergency powers. All right, and you see if you've been paying attention what they've been doing behind essentially closed doors. All right, so pilgrim, crusader, foreigner. So we're gonna have to be pilgrims. We're gonna we, we're gonna have to be apart from this system. And in fact, if you don't believe in the system, they're going to cut you off easily. All right. All right. They're going to easily cut you off. All right. Now you got it where they got metadata. Okay. Where your bank account and your fucking your email account, they're merged all together. If you're using a phone and say if you're using Google Pay, right? All of your information, all your personal information, all of that shit is tied to everything is tied to your phone now, right? So you could pay with your phone, you could do all that shit, right? Your Google account is tied to your YouTube account. All right. When you whatever you press in that Google search engine, that's all metadata. All right. So that's your phone. Okay. That Google payment systems is predicated. You can't use it unless you got a Gmail account. All right. So right now, as we speak, it's all intertwined, it's all connected. All right. So when Jake talk about, uh, I kind of don't because I'm kind of getting angry, but Salakia. So when Jake talk about this thing is we just conspiracy theorists and we just out of our mind, they absolutely do not know what the fuck is going on. All right, because this shit is already tied together. All right. So let me see. Let me go back to my precepts and then I'm gonna have to close out in a second here. All right. So Job 5:12, it says he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. We're seeing with the enterprise that let's go into the word enterprise, right? Salakia. All right. So the Hebrew word is thawa shah yah. Tawashaya. Tawashaya. All right. Wisdom, sound knowledge, success. All right. Okay. Because that's what this thing is. All right. Sound or efficient wisdom. Okay. That's the GPT-7. All right. Some know it as chat GPT. Okay. And that's just a more weaker version of what they already got in place right now. All right. All you got to do is subscribe and they'll give you a better form of that AI tool. People are using this shit and it's hundreds of different AI tools. All right, they're using it to make videos. They're using it to monetize or make money off of in many different ways. All right, people are using it to make scripts. It's doing all type of shit right now. All right. Okay, and that's what I wanted to make the point that that they're giving life to this motherfucking thing. All right, they're giving life to it. Okay, so when it comes times when shit shut down and you know you need verification to get back into your shit and all that other shit, that's when these type of systems are gonna kind of emerge. All right, y'all gotta forgive me because I know I'm kind of going on a tangent. So this is Revelations. Let me just make sure. All right, that was for the Lord warning us of the times, right? Revelations 12 and 12. We kind of touched on that, but we might come back to it. Be even as pilgrims. We just dealt with that. All right, so back in Job, okay. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. So essentially, they're gonna fall. All right, they're gonna fall. Okay, um, right. So he's gonna take them in their own craftiness. So all the crisis that they're bringing and all of these things, this is actually leading to their own demise. All right, they think they're gonna reset the world and essentially they're gonna get a foothold. All right, they're gonna get their hands. All right, they're gonna be licking their chops. Okay, they're gonna eat, as the scriptures say. Okay, in Job 20. But when they start to eat, all right, when they start to get a foothold, when they start to bring this enterprise about, and when they start being able to take men's souls, that's when the Lord is going to pull the rug from underneath them, so to speak. All right, look at this. Job 20 and 10, it says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hand shall restore their goods. All right, and they got the power to do that now. All right, his bones are full of the sins of his youth, which shall lie with him in the dust. All right, because they're going to go back to a confused state. All right, all right. It says, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, because that's what they're doing with this whole thing. They're hiding the wickedness under their tongue because they're not telling people. They can't tell people that they're phasing out the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, in the old way. All right, and they're bringing in essentially a new God, a new light bearer, who they're going to take. They're going to take you to the next level. They're going to take society to the next level. All right. So it says, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. Yet his meat is in his bowels is turned. It is the gall of asps within him. So it's poison. All right. Their own sayings, their own ideals is going to become poisonous to themselves. All right. He hath swallowed down riches. He shall vomit them back up of a slacker. He shall vomit them up again. All right. And they have taken a vast amount of wealth from the world, more now than they have ever taken it. Okay. It says the Most High shall cast them out of his belly. All right. He shall suck the poison of asp. The viper's tongue shall slay them. All right. So it says, he shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter, because that's what they want. Their ideal is to get all this wealth, okay, and essentially take all the wealth through the system and ration off this way of life and this way through this manufactured slavery through this RFID chip. All right, it says this that which he labored for shall he restore and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, right? Because that's what this thing is all about. Because he hath violently taken away an house which he buildeth not. All right. Agenda 21. Right. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. All right. Because it's going to be taken. And ultimately, here's the point right here, but they're going to go and it's going to be confusion and war and it's going to be destabilization when they thought they had essentially made the move to procure everything and to take everything over. It says in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. All right. So in the fullness of his sufficiency is him being able to orchestrate this whole beast system, all right, and have it running on all cylinders, all right. So they're going to be able to take over every facet of society, and of course they're going to be able to do it through crises, all right, the generated crises. This is every hand of the wicked shall come upon him, okay, and that's the poor man, all right. The Hebrew word there is aimal. Let me see here, aimal. The fools of the decision is restrained. Oh, the hand of the wicked, slacking. Goodness gracious. Right? The laborer, sufferer, the wretched one, laborer, workman, sufferer. The ones is toiling, as it says there. All right. Shall come upon him when he is about to fill his belly. God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So he's gonna have a foothold. He's gonna be consuming. All right, the souls of men. All right, he's gonna have all the wealth. Okay. All right. And that's when the Lord is going to lay down the hammer. Okay. That's when the Lord is going to say enough. All right. But it has to get to that point. Right. So we have to go through all these crises and all of these things. And we have to go through them shutting down the systems, reintroducing the system. All right. And people are going to have to opt in through what? To ultimately uh, uh, probably two ways: online signature, right? Somehow, some way. But then you're gonna have to take a chip to be a part of this whole grand scheme of things. All right. All right. So I'm a well, you know what? Luke 12 and really quick, 54, it says, and he said also to the people, when you see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. And when ye see the south wind blow, Luke 12 and 54 and 55 I'm gonna stop at 56. It says, when you see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? Right? So we are supposed to discern this time. All right. So the hell with, oh, that's not important, conspiracy theory and all this other type of stuff. You're supposed to understand the time that you're in. All right. Scriptures talk about being circumspect. Okay. So the Revelations 13, 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Right. When you go into this word image, it's very much like what they're trying to do. An image, a figure, a likeness. Okay. So they're trying to make the likeness of a man, a certain image of a man. All right. And this image is supposed to, all right, they are supposed to give power to. Okay. An image of things, the heavenly things don't, uh, yeah, used of the moral likeness of renewed men to God. Let me see. Mm-mm. The image of one. Let's see here. What else? One in whom the likeness of anyone is seen applied to man on account of his power of command. Okay. So let's go into, so just got icon is ICO.
Strong's G 1503. ICO. ICO.
So the image says to be like. All right. Because that's what this this whole artificial intelligence is all about. It's to artificially imitate what a man could do, but do it at a very higher level. Okay, and so this is what they're giving power to. Okay, Slack it. Revelation 13:15 again, and he had power to give life unto the image. Okay, and I know I'm going backwards, but Slack. Yeah. All right, so this is the word power.
Strong's G 1325. Didomi. Didomi.
Didomi. All right, so very basic, to give something to someone of one's own accord, to give one something to his advantage. All right, keep in mind that. To bestow a gift, to grant, give to one asking, let have. All right, to supply, furnish necessary things. See, right? And we just read in this GPT-7. That's exactly that. It seems as though it's saying that they're going to give this supercomputer all of this authority to run society better and make it a better place. All right, I encourage you to read that. You know, so to supply, furnish necessary things, to give over, deliver, to reach out, extend, present of a writing, to give over to one's care and trust, commit. So essentially, that's what they're doing, right? They're giving technology, and they're entrusting technology. All right, which, you know, the image, we know the image goes back to the Roman Empire. All right, which uh the Roman Empire stood for something. So it's a way of life. Okay. And what are they creating? All right. And it said what this is going to be the new, that the supercomputer is essentially going to be the new light bearer. All right. Where is it at? Did I read all that? I think I did read it. Yep. I read all of that. It says they became the custodians of our history, our culture, our legacy. All right. They preserved our stories. And this is talking about the supercomputer, mind you. Our achievements, our memories, they became the torch bearers of our civilization, carrying on our light, or carrying our light into the future. You see? So it says, look at that, to give what is due or obligatory, to pay wages or reward. Hmm. It says to cause a profuse give forth from oneself, right? To appoint to an office, right here is perfect. All right. Then I can move on now. All right. So it's giving them, appointing them to an office. All right. And that office is what? To essentially run society. Okay. With the ideal of Satanism in mind, and a world absent of God, and so on and so forth. Right. It says that the image of the beast should both speak. Okay. Here, I didn't look up that word life. And good Lord have mercy. All right. Well, I don't have to. I mean, you can look it up. Slack it. So, uh, 13:15. All right. Image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay. Uh, oh, speak. Yeah. I just for the sake of researching, we just go into these words.
Strong's G 2980. Laleo. Laleo.
Okay. To use words in order to declare one's mind and disclose one's thoughts, because that's what the computer is going to do. And when you read this, it goes into that. GPT-7 was tasked with finding a solution. See, it analyzed vast amounts of data from climate models and population projections to economic trends and legal frameworks. It proposed a comprehensive water management plan that balanced the needs of all stakeholders, optimized water use, and promoted sustainable practices. This plan was implemented by governments worldwide. See, so they're given power. So essentially, they're given power. They're giving it authority. They're giving it a obligation. Okay, they're giving it an office, right? It says it led to significant improvements in water security, reduced conflicts, and promoted cooperations between nations. It was a testament to the power of data-driven decision making, and it was a little uncanny, like watching a chess computer broker peace between rival kings. Broker peace between rival kings. In the old world, democracy was a game of numbers. People voted, the majority ruled. But this system had its flaws. It often led to polarization, short-term thinking, and disregard for minority interests. But with GPT-7, a new kind of democracy emerged. Consider the case. Oh yeah, so right. So then they're using it to make decisions, basically. So to utter, tell, to use words in order to declare one's mind, to disclose one's thoughts, to speak. All right, it has no root words, so we can move on. Okay. Revelations 13:15 again, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right now, I do have to point this out and killed. Do want to bring this up. Um, because say, for instance, hypothetically, like this whole quote unquote, this whole article is supposed to be hypothetical, right? So hypothetically speaking, if you're not for the advancement of this, what do you think it's going to do? It's going to act as a survivalist, and it's going to get rid of whatever opposes its a dream of fulfilling a new future, whatever, you know. So here it says, anyone that don't worship the image of the beast should be both what killed. I roughly paraphrase it, but it says here to kill in any way, whatever, to destroy, to allow to perish, because that's what's going to happen. If you don't opt into the systems, it's going to allow you to perish, right? Okay. So it ain't going to be, it's not going to be a two-way street. It's going to be a one-way street with dealing with this whole system, right? Metaphorically, to extinguish, abolish, to inflict mortal death. And they're going to be doing that as well. They're going to be putting people to death as well, cutting people's heads off, according to Revelations. All right, I think it's the 21st chapter, fifth verse, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, to deprive of spiritual life and procure eternal misery in hell. Right, so they might cut you off from the internet. They might cut you off from being tied to any type of knowledge. All right, hell, they might go back to a Fahrenheit. What was that movie where they burned the books? You know, who knows, man? And all of that, it don't take. It ain't gonna take no time, right? It really ain't gonna take that much time. Okay, to employ this system. It may take a matter of months because, from what we know, what they give to the public is not all of what the capabilities of the system that they're employing. All right, we only get a fragment of what they have, and from what I'm seeing, they've been doing it. They've been talking about this shit for decades, and so I'm sure they have their finished version of the systems that they want to employ. So you might see a full uh, uh, a system, B system. When shit crashes, don't be surprised if everything is put together perfectly. All right, Lord willing, this makes sense, man. You know, I just seen some information out, and tried to build off of it. Lord willing, I make it sense. You know, because I'm really not trying to, speak all, just using all these words. I know I'm using a lot of words and all of that, but hopefully you'll be able to see it. if you can't get anything from me, look up these articles, look up this man, Sam Altman, you know, and you'll understand the direction they want to take society into. So Sam Altman's universal basic income experiment reveals benefits and limitations in addressing AI job losses. Okay. So and the reason why I got this is just to prove to you this guy that created Chat GPT, the supercomputer, which can see through data and it can act as a human, right? There's many facets to it. It ain't just, it's a lot of things that they use AI for, right? But one of his talking points is UBI, you know, UBI. So just imagine that. So I'm gonna close out, you know, Lord willing, this was edifying, man. I hope to God, brothers understood, you know. But hey, until next time, I'm gonna give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai, Shem Kakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, shalom.